Hello, Ryan Sullivan here at the Qatar National Convention Centre here in Doha for the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP18. Today, my last day at the conference, our Environment Minister, the Honourable Mr. Peter Kent, addressed the Assembly of close to 200 nations discussing Canada's action on climate change. While the short speech, quite fittingly so, spoke of broad commitments of reducing our greenhouse gas emissions approximately 17% below our 2005 rates as per our agreement in 2009 at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Copenhagen. This commitment, while sounding progressive, is a step back from our previous commitment in the Kyoto Accord of roughly 50% below 1990 levels. This is a huge discrepancy as it displays an almost passive approach of kicking the can down the road for someone else or perhaps another generation to deal with. This upsets me, and it should upset you, as we are continuing to pass on our environmental commitments both domestically and internationally. Year after year, our emissions continue to rise, specifically from the tar sands extraction, and yet instead of tightening our environmental policy, which could create stricter environmental standards, our government is cleaning the slate in favor of production. We are continuing to reduce our environmental focus by reducing progressive objectives and the jobs of professionals at Environment Canada who could actually carry them out. I was hoping to update you here from Doha with more positive news. Unfortunately, there just isn't any. There was a report that came out. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, otherwise known as the OECD, compiled a report on over 25 environmental indicators in 10 categories, such as air, water, energy, biodiversity, waste, climate change, ozone depletion, agriculture, transportation, and others, which I'm not going to mention. The results from this report prove that Canada is unfortunately one of the poorest environmental records of the industrialized countries. The primary finding is that of these 25 environmental indicators examined, Canada's overall ranking among OECD nations is a dismal 28th out of 29th. Of the report, a few of the items that were pointed out was that Canada is among of the 3 worst countries on 9 indicators in regards to per capita greenhouse gas emissions, sulfur dioxide emissions, carbon monoxide emissions, water consumption, energy efficiency, volume of timber logged, and generation of nuclear waste. Canada's economy is inefficient in that we use much more energy and generate much more pollution to produce a given amount of goods and services relative to our industrial competitors, including 33% more energy in the United States per unit of GDP. As well, too, the report also stated that Canada's performance on most environmental indicators continue to worsen, including increasing water consumption, increasing energy consumption, increase in nuclear and hazardous waste, higher greenhouse gas emissions, higher number of endangered species, declining fish populations, higher commercial fertilizer use, more livestock, more timber logged, as well as more motor vehicles and more kilometers traveled by road as opposed to public transit. While these problems exist for many industrialized nations, the problem lies in the fact that our government has a lack of commitment to tackle these issues. This is a workable solution, and we can take steps right now to alter this outcome. For instance, the province of Ontario and its Green Initiative has resulted in billions of dollars of economic opportunity, as well as helping us to create a more sustainable economy and province. These types of progressive initiatives, such as investment in renewable energy and support for public transit, can help reduce our dependency on dirty energy and help create the green Canada of tomorrow. I hope that my fellow Canadians continue to put pressure on our municipal, provincial, and most importantly our federal government leaders to act on climate change and invest in our environment. When we invest in our environment, we invest in our economy, and when we invest in us, we all win. From the United Nations Climate Change Conference here in Doha, Ryan Sullivan, signing out.